Yeah, 10th class biology, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In this video, I discuss this about, the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In the previous video, we discussed the sexual reproduction in human beings, now flowering plants. The reproductive parts in a plant are located in the flower. Okay, so the reproductive parts we can see in the flower of the plant, and they are stamens and carpels. In your previous class, you have heard this. Here the stamens are the male reproductive parts and carpels are the female reproductive parts. Now unisexual flowers, bisexual flowers, all these things have come in your previous class, 9th class. And unisexual flowers, small definition here I gave. Either stamens or carpels are present in the flowers, and these are examples are bottle gourd and papaya. Only male or female reproductive parts will be present in the flowers. Bisexual flowers means both will be present. That means both stamens and carpels are present. But only thing is they will go, sometimes they will go self-pollination, sometimes they go for cross-pollination. So the situation is different for those things. And here stamens male sex cells are androecium we call, and carpels female sex cells are gynoecium, and male cells in pollen grains are present. These male cells are present in the pollen grains. Pollen you can see in the flower, that is in yellow color like a powdery substance, and then gynoecium, this is present in the ovules in the ovary. So ovary you can see, and inside the ovary ovules. Actually gradually this ovary will be developed into the fruit, and ovules will be developed into the seeds, that you can see after the formation of the fruit. Then here these carpels have three parts mainly: stigma, style and ovary. See here the stigma, actually this is the uppermost portion, and this will receive the pollen, and then style is the long tubular portion, and ovary is at the bottom. Okay, and here in this ovary fusion of male and female sex cells will take place, that will form into zygote. Okay, then passage of compatible, that is matching male sex cells will be present here through the style. Style is actually the tubular portion, this is passage, and here compatible male sex cells will be passed through this style into the ovary. Then self-pollination. See what is self-pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower. Anther is the male sex organ, and stigma is the female sex organ. Okay, so from this anther, that will be transferred to the stigma of the same flower sometimes, or of the same species. Okay, for different plant. So if the pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower transference will be there, then this is self-pollination. Example is pea plants. So here from anther to stigma of the same flower. Okay, and then this is self-pollination. Okay, now cross-pollination, let us discuss. Cross-pollination, what is this? Pollen grains of a flower are transferred to the stigma of the different flower of the same species. This you must remember, same species should be there, same plant or a different flower of the same species. Okay, same plant also, because both the sexes are present. So here pollen grains of a flower are transferred to the stigma of the different flower on the same plant or on different flower of the same species. Because see, on the bisexual flowers, in case of bisexual flowers, both the sexes are present. So the male flower will produce the pollen grains, and that will be transferred to the carpel of the same plant of different flower, or else of the different plant of the same species. Okay, sometimes because of the length or time of ripening, so all these factors will influence the fertilization. So like that also sometimes they depend on the flowers of the other plants. And then example is bottle gourd and ridge gourd or maize, etc. Then structure of ovules. Here structure of ovules, and it is an egg-shaped structure. Actually ovule is an egg-shaped structure, and it is attached by a stalk to the inner side of the ovary. So it is inside the ovary. This you can see if you open the pod of bean and all, you can see that pea easily you can see there. This is egg-shaped and attached by, there is a stalk, small stalk you can see in the inner side of the ovary, and at the center of the ovule there is a microscopic embryo sac filled with water and food. Okay, this food will be supplied to the developing sapling. Then the embryo sac is composed of gametophyte cells, and majority of flowering plants have an embryo sac with 7 cells. Yeah, this you can see here. Majority of flowering plants, all this majority of flowering plants will have 7 cells. Embryo sac will be there, and there 7 cells are present, and these 7 cells are having 8 nuclei. Okay, so these 8 nuclei undergo mitotic divisions, and 3 mitotic successive divisions they will undergo, and then finally they will form into this 8 nuclei. And among these 8 nuclei, one large central nuclei will be there, and this will have 2 nuclei. One large central cell, actually this cell will be having 2 polar nuclei, that is 2n, and 3 cells towards the top, that those are called as antipodals, and at the bottom, that is micropylar end, and 3 will be there. Out of these 3 micropylar end, there 2 are synergids and 1 egg cell will be there. And here see first the cells on the stigma, nutrient fluid which, so on the cells of the stigma some fluid will be there, and this fluid will be having sugars. Okay, because of these sticky sugars the pollination will take place, and the pollen whatever will fall on that will stick. Then fertilization, here pollen tube will be having 2n nuclei. Here 2n nuclei will be there, and these 2n nuclei after fusion will form into zygote. And actually this 2n nuclei in the pollen tube, 2n nuclei will be from the male will pass towards the that egg, and here this 2n into egg. So this cross pollination, the fusion will give 2n, and this is into this 2n. Actually see, only one is fused here, and the other remaining n will be there. This n will fuse again with other nucleus, and then here, and this stimulates to develop the endosperm. So this n and 2n fusion. After this is 3 nuclei. Okay, then ovary will be developed into fruit, and ovule will be seed. And this is actually called as double fertilization, because first one n is fused with the egg here, and the other end with 2n here. Okay, already this we discussed. So twice it undergoes fertilization, that's why it is called as double fertilization, and new embryo will be formed. And here sometimes the embryo will be monocotyledon, sometimes dicotyledon. 2 are double. You can see the cotyledons, and this is about the double fertilization and also fertilization in sexual reproduction in flowers. Okay, thank you. I hope you understand this.